Ready? Go ahead.
Hi, you're watching Dontaesboxingnation.
I never use it to be racist because I'm not racist, but whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you f***ed up. And I clearly have f***ed up.
I know I can speak for myself. I forgive you.
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? Well, black people continue to be the most magnanimous people in the world. And it's not just because black Americans dominate the sport of boxing, but it's also because we are the most forgiving people in the world. We are the most accepting people in the world. It doesn't matter what you say about black people, what you do to black people. The first people that will forgive the person that either assaults black people verbally or fatally will be black people. That's a fact. Every single time we see a racist police officer shoot and kill some unarmed black person, one of the first things you hear from the victim's family is, we forgive the killer. Joe Rogan, he calls black people apes from Africa. He says that black people's brain are inferior to white people's brain. He even brought an extreme racist guest onto his show, a guy that was so racist he was deplatformed from Twitter, but yet Joe Rogan, he invited him to his show, and he claimed that black people had a genetic proclivity to violence. So apparently he believes that Conor McGregor, all of these people that commit hate crimes, do mass murder shootings, are really just light-skinned black people that have this additional gene that produces additional violence. So once again, after Joe Rogan says all these things about black people and is exposed for the whole world to see and hear, the first people that come out to forgive Joe Rogan are black people. Israel Adesanya, he comes out and defends Joe Rogan as if he would defend his family. Mike Tyson couldn't wait to invite Joe Rogan onto his show after Joe was exposed as a racist, just to show his support. They didn't care that Joe Rogan looks at them as inferior, looks at them as apes from Africa. They didn't care about any of that. They didn't care that Joe Rogan was calling them, their kids, and everyone else that shares their skin color apes. All is forgiven. With that summation out of the way, that brings us to Paulie Malignaggi and Shakur Stevenson. Paulie Malignaggi is a known racist that got fired from Showtime for racist remarks he made about black people. But the one thing I give Paulie Malignaggi credit for is he refused to issue a fake apology. Paulie pretty much told Showtime, this is who I am, and I'm not gonna lie and apologize for how I really feel about black people. And that's how he got fired. Like all the typical stories when it comes to a racist being exposed, you think there's only one dead body buried under the house, but once you keep digging, you find out that there's another 18 or 19 other bodies buried under that same house. And this is what happened with Paulie Malignaggi. There was one thing he said that got him fired, but that turned out to be the tip of the iceberg, because then his true colors came out and we started to hear all of his racial views towards black people. But the actual comment that got Paulie fired from Showtime was him saying, it's no longer the time of the African American anymore in boxing. It's the Eastern European that's become the dominant species in boxing. Then after that, he just started saying all kind of stuff. He went on a racial rant defending the police officer that murdered George Floyd, even after the police officer pled guilty to the crime. This is the Paulie Malignaggi who recently invited Shakur Stevenson to his podcast show. And once again, with black people being so forgiving, Shakur Stevenson, he can't wait to do the show. So Shakur, he accepts the invitation with open arms. And this is way after Shakur Stevenson actually addressed racism and said, quote, they hate black people. And the word they at the time had to include Paulie Malignaggi, because Paulie was saying the same things about black people that they say. Now, one of the first questions, if Paulie Malignaggi truly believed that it is no longer the time of the black American boxer in the sport, why does he want to interview Shakur Stevenson? Why isn't he looking for the Eastern European fighters to interview? Who knows? Maybe Shakur Stevenson is only doing this interview to check Paulie Malignaggi as the racist that he is. Maybe the only reason why Shakur wants to do this interview is to ask Paulie Malignaggi face to face, do you truly believe that it's no longer the time of the Black American boxer? That was complete sarcasm, by the way, guys. Of course, Shakur Stevenson doesn't want to do the interview for that reason. Shakur Stevenson has already forgiven Paulie Malignaggi for being a racist towards him. He's already completely ignored everything that Paulie Malignaggi has said about black boxers like Shakur. Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, one of the most powerful weapons against racism is to distance yourself from the actual racist. You don't give them business when you know how they feel about you deep down. For example, when DJ Vlad wanted to interview Errol Spence, he turned down the interview, told DJ Vlad, I'm not that thirsty for an interview. That's how you make a difference. See, right now, Paulie Malignaggi is going to be another Joe Rogan when it comes to boxing. He's going to continue saying that the Eastern European fighter is the superior fighter in the sport of boxing today, while interviewing all of the best Black American fighters on his show. When Paulie is interviewing these black fighters like Shakur Stevenson, it's very therapeutic for him. It helps him alleviate the guilt that he has for being the racist that he is. Is Paulie bringing Shakur on his show so he can tell Shakur how great the Eastern European fighters are, how they're much superior than the Black American boxer today? Or is Paulie Malignaggi bringing him on the show to turn a new leaf and start exposing the racial double standards in the sport of boxing, to show people that he's no longer a racist, or at least no longer an overt racist? We'll find out very soon when they do the interview. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at ScalpCarolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP. And I saw some pictures of some guys, before and after, and I was looking at that, and it caught my attention. So I Googled it. SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, ScalpCarolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, can you fix this? And, he pretty much said, no problem. My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked and, about our families and our life, and, and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, ScalpCarolinas, to get this done.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.